Hello, it's Vanessa Talbot here. Hang on a second, I'm just going to turn my heater down. I think it's too loud. There, that gets rid of that. I think it was making too much noise in the background. So what I thought we would have a chat today, because it's been on everyone's mind at the moment, is what's happening with their Facebook groups. Like, groups aren't growing fast enough, or else they can't get enough engagement. So what I thought I would look at today is just one little thing, and it's why not to let everyone into your group. Now, I know that's tempting because you want your group to grow, right? So you want the numbers. I've had my clients say this, oh, I just want numbers, I just want numbers, especially in those initial days of first growing your groups. But you know, numbers are not the thing that make a great Facebook group. You can get really, really big Facebook groups, but not have a lot of community feel or a lot of engagement going on. Sometimes really small groups, and I'm talking, 300 to 1,000 people, you can have a great community feel in there and a lot of engagement. So what I want to say to you is, don't just focus on the numbers. Yes, it is nice to have a group that's got numbers to it. And the reason for it is because it puts you on the radar. Oh, it's a large group, it must be good. That it's that social proof thing. So you've got that going for you if you have the numbers. There's no doubt about that. So we don't want to ignore building our group and, doing it in the right way. So what I'm going to talk to you today is, when you are aiming for that group growth, do it in a way that it's not letting everyone into the group, because when you are getting lots and lots of people coming into the group all the time, and you're not vetting who's coming in, this is when you get the numbers, but there's not a lot of community feel or a lot of engagement, because they're coming in but they're not posting. And that's because you're probably letting in people who are not your ideal target for that, for your group. So, hi there. It's good to have you on here. I'm glad to have some people listening. And the other thing is that you will get lots and lots of people coming in that will spam as well. So there's a lot of people that are just jumping from group to group to group to basically spam. And what's the definition of spamming? That is just going into an area and just putting in a promotional post and then disappearing. So you will have all seen them, and even if you've done that yourself, don't beat yourself up about it. We forgive you. Just bear in mind that that way of promoting doesn't work that well. And so I always say it's best to work, a few groups, build good relationships in them. I only do probably 3 or 4 other groups other than this, my own group, at a time, because though I'm members of a lot more, I just don't physically have the time to contribute in all of them in a way that's going to enable me to, get known in that group, build some great relationships in that group. So just concentrate on a few groups at the time. So let's talk about what's going to happen when you've got your own group and you want that group growth, and because of that you are letting in everyone. So here's what we do here at this group. We're quite selective with our group members, so not everyone gets in. Now, I'm trying to think, when I first started this group, which was probably a while ago now, I'd say it's 24 months, so we're probably going up to 2 years now, and it grew really, really fast. But even then, I remember in the initial days being very wary of making sure I wasn't letting in the spammers. I think in the whole time I've had this group, we've had, in the early days, we had the old Ray-Ban promotional posts from those people that just sent out to promote the Ray-Ban, and then we had one porn video put in as well. And those happened in the early days, and I'm like, I do not want this to happen. How am I going to avoid this? So I would look at those people that posted, and it would give me a good clue of what to look for in fake profiles. And fake profiles are really good at jumping into all the different groups and then just plastering their crap on the wall, and then of course getting out. So that's all they want to do, is just plaster and then out. So you have to look for the signals and the signs. So what we do here is we vet every profile. So, you know, if we've got 70 to 100 a day to go through, I can't do that. So if you want to grow your group and you don't physically have the time, and you've got a group that's having a lot of numbers come in, then get yourself some admin support to do these tasks for you. So I have my 2 admin, and they'll do those tasks for me. Now, if you have a smaller group and you're not getting that amount of friend requests a day, say if you're getting, 2, 3, 4, 5 requests a day, then you can very easily take the time to vet those profiles. So we just look at each one of those profiles. The first thing that we'll look at is the profile picture. A lot of the fake profiles have profile pictures that just don't look right. Either it's the girl's just way over to the top, too glamorous, or yeah, absolutely, absolutely, it is quality over quantity always. So the other thing is sometimes, they'll just have a picture, but it's not showing them. So we look for people in our profile, in the profile pictures that we let in first. Okay, so that's the first thing we'll look at. So if you have a Facebook profile and you don't have a picture of you, it will help with entry into most groups. Okay. We will then look past the picture, like if the picture doesn't match up, we will then go and have a second look, because then we're going to look for the information. We're going to have a look and see what information they've got there. So if it's not telling us anything much at all, and we don't know that they're going to be a match for our group, either they're not a coach or they're not a change maker. Like, we have got a lot of people in real estate and property development that want to get into this group, and we don't let them in. And why is that? It is because property and real estate investment is not a match for my aim for this group, which is a place for coaches and change makers to talk about how they're getting out there, how they're being seen, and building their own confidence about getting out there. So property development is not coming in. Because of that reason. It's not a match for my group. And then I might have a lot more numbers, but it's going to be filled with a lot of people that are misaligned with the mission and my values for this group. And secondly, they're also not going to be my ideal target market either. So remember, if you have a group where your aim is to create and clients from it and monetize your group, you want to make sure that you are filling that group with heaps of your potential target market also. So that's what we look at. First up is the profile pic. First up. Secondly is what information are they supplying that tells us. So if you're a person who has a lot of stuff marked private and we can't get a look, if you're wanting to get into the better groups and you're finding that you're not, it may be because of that. You're not giving them enough information. So mark some of your profile where we can actually see it. Hi Johnny, how you going? Yep, you got to make sure that you look like a person in your profile picture, or if you don't, if you have something else that you feel depicts you and you don't want your own person picture, do make sure that you have information there to let us know that you are a coach or a change maker or whatever it is for the reason you're getting into a certain group. We also don't let in business accounts as well. So, and I mean, like, some people are using their personal profile as business accounts as well. So if it's something like, JDL coaching or something like that, we won't let them in. But we would love to have the person that's behind JDL coaching in. But we won't let JDL coaching in, but we want the person behind it. So if you're using your personal page as a business page, be wary of that as well. Like, some groups will let you in, but we don't here. We don't want the business pages. We want you to have personal contact with us. Another sign that you should be looking for when you are vetting profiles is what is the interaction on that person's personal page. So has it got the usual Facebook banter going on there? Like a lot of the spammy accounts or the fake accounts will have nothing but shares on them. You just see share, 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 share. So they're just trying to keep it active and look as if they're doing something, but they haven't got any interaction happening. There's no usual Facebook banter with friends, stuff like that. So that's what you've got to look out for as well. Another little tip also that we often take into account, well, at least my team take into account, is they will have a look at how many groups the person who's requesting to get in is already a member of. So, you know, if they're a member of 1,000 groups, I'm kind of thinking, well, you're not going to have much time to interact in mine. Now, I understand a lot of people are members of quite a few groups these days, but 1,000 and over is getting too much, okay? And we're going to assume, it doesn't mean that we are correct in our assumption, but we are going to assume because you're a member of, you know, a huge amount of groups like that, you're going to just be in to jump spam and then jump off to the other one, and that you probably spend all day automating posts into Facebook groups for your promotional stuff. So, you know, these are little things that group admins look for and that you must be wary of. Now, for you as a group admin as well, for your own Facebook group, this is what you have to decide. What are my boundaries about what I want into my group? So rather than just taking notice of me, I've given you our boundaries and what we look for in a profile, or what we're looking for not to be in a profile. You have to decide what are my boundaries for my group and who do I want in this group, and then be selective with the people that you enter into your Facebook group. Because if you are not selective, yes, your group will grow, but you won't have the engagement, and then it becomes just like a dead pool, you know. And I've had this group over the time go up and down in terms of engagement. So I'm just giving you the God honest truth here. And sometimes, because it's not always highly engaged, I find that it can slack off at times, and I have to work hard to get that engagement happening again. When it's flowing, everything is cruisy, and it's much easier to get people into my products and my programs. If engagement's not happening that well, it's much harder to actually be making the money out of it as well. That's just my personal experience. So you want to have members in there who want to be in there and who want to engage in your community. Okay, so this is the problem with letting everyone in. Like real estate professionals, as wonderful as they are, is you know, they don't want to engage in my group. There's no doubt about it. All they want to do normally is have a place for them to promote their real estate properties. So then going to be, to me, a useless number. So it might make me look good on the outside, but the reality is it's not helping my group. Yes, Trilby, I know at the moment there's a lot of struggle with engagement, and it is, you know, you can always go back to really being stricter on the amount of people that you let in terms of the quality of the people that you're letting in. That's one tip for it. I do have many, many other tips about engagement, but I won't go into them today. This is just about making sure that you're not letting everyone into your group who applies, because that's what happens. We think, oh, I've got 10 requests here. Boom, boom, boom. Great. That's up my numbers for today. But you know, how many of those actual 10 new members are going to be valuable members to your community and your tribe in your group? So that's what you need to vet each profile for, and know what it is that you're looking for that's going to give you the signals that this is a good person to bring into your group. Bear in mind, look, you're not going to get it right every time. You know, we still get those that come in and don't abide by the rules and just want to spam as much as they've got everything that we're looking for on their profiles. So it's not about always getting it right. That's not going to happen. But at least you are lessening that activity. That's the aim of the game. Colleen, or Fergus, you all know her as Fergus, my admin. She's the one who has done the group admin here for about 12 months now. in my group. And she gave me some stats the other day, and because we got stricter and stricter, because I found I was still getting too much spam. So I said to her, we're going to tighten this up. Okay, so we've loosened it up a bit now, because it did really stifle the actual group growth as well, and I thought we could be a bit more lenient. But for about 4 months, I think it was, we were really, really tight. And out of 50 to 100 requests a day, Fergus said that she would let in about 25% would actually make the cut according to what we wanted in. So if I had been concentrating on numbers only, she told me by now we would be, a 25,000 member group by now. But, so what? 25,000, but if the vast majority of those people are not playing the game in the way that we as a community want them to contribute and play with us, then we don't want them in here. Even though 25,000 might make me look good, at the end of the day, if you get in here and you find out that things aren't happening, or it's just a dead pool of constant promotion, which, some people think it is when they hit us on Wednesdays, because that is our promotional day. So it's about 25%. It did stifle it a bit too much in terms of growth. We found we weren't moving very much at all. We got stuck on around that 15,000 or just under 15,000 for such a long time. Now Colleen, or Fergus, she's my cousin Colleen, but she goes under Fergus on Facebook in this group as admin. She's found now we've become a little bit more lenient, that we are letting in around 40% at the moment. Now that's a test to see how things are going. There are still certain things that we don't want in here. So, if you are, as I said, I keep picking on the real estate professionals and the property developments, but that is because we just have had a wash of, about 1,000 of those all at once over the last few months wanting to get into the group. And in the beginning, a couple came in, we found out what they were doing, and now it's just no for that. Trilby, in answer to your question, do you ask some questions when they ask to join? Now, that is a new thing that Facebook has added, and I actually haven't tried that one yet, and I am going to put it into place and give it a go. I have found, talking to other group members who have done that one yet, that it's lessening the amount of people who are actually wanting to get in, because they have to, they kind of feel like they're getting vetted by those questions in some way. But on the other hand, they find that, yes, they're not getting the numbers in. So I think one told me that normally it would be 20 a day, and since she had added questions, it was down at 5 a day. But she did feel that the quality was better of the people coming in, because if they are happy to answer your questions, then they are obviously going to be someone who's interested in the group. Because if you think about it, if they're not happy to answer those questions, then what do they want to come into the group for? They're obviously not going to be someone who's going to probably add a lot of value for the group. So it is a good vetting tool, and I suggest that if everyone wants to try it and give it out. I'm not sure if all groups, it was something Facebook was rolling out, so I'm not sure if all groups have that facility at the moment to ask those questions, but if they are there, you can certainly trial it and give it a go. We are going to trial ours this month and start it and see what happens there. I just haven't decided what questions I'll ask yet, but I wouldn't have any more than 3 questions there. So if anyone's got any other questions, then please just hit me with it. I will jump off very, very shortly. So just to recap, why do you not want to let everyone into your group? It is because there's a lot of those profiles that you're letting in, are fake profiles, and they're just there to spam or put porn on your group wall, as I said, which I had once, or Ray-Ban sunglasses, or just, put up blog posts for people. So there's a lot of VAs that are coming, so VAs on social media, and you can they just go in just to post their boss's stuff, but they're never interacting. Thank you so much, Kevin. And I was about to give you a shout out later today as well. So I will do that shout out later today, thanking you for something that you did on the weekend. So I'll keep that one quiet for now. So back to, I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. So back to, you don't want those spammers in there. Also, you want to make sure that if you have built a group to set yourself up as authority and to set yourself up for as a pool of possible clients, is because you want to build a community, a community of raving fans for you, or at least raving fans of each other within that environment, and you want to be able to monetize that group. You need the right people in there as well, right from the very beginning. So you want people who, are invested in the subject matter. So that's another reason why you don't want everyone in that group, okay? The higher engagement rate that you can get for your group will often depend on the type of people that you have in there. So as much as I can give you a whole heap of tips on how to amp up engagement, and that's another thing, it does start with actually having the right people in there in the first place. And as I said, you're not always going to get it right, but so do be selective with who it is that you're looking in on your, bringing into your group, and concentrate less on numbers and more on the quality of the people that you're putting in there. And the plus to that will be that as your engagement increases, you will find that then, because it's a highly engaged group, other people will want to come into the group for that. So that's where you start. You start with getting that engagement happening, and then it brings other people in. If you have a group that's just got a whole lot of numbers in it and it's just growing on numbers alone, you won't have that engagement or a lot of that conversation going on as well. And then that will make it challenging for you, and it just becomes, as I said, like this dead cesspool where it's nothing but people going in and promoting. So that's going back to having your rules and your boundaries again with your group around what it is that you will allow in your group. Okay, so that's enough from me for today. I could ramble on about groups forever and ever and ever. I do actually love Facebook groups and the environments. I do actually love going into other people's groups, and I get a lot of tips also by watching what's happening in other people's groups. This is not just all my brilliance that I come up with. I watch and I learn. So that's another tip as well. If you're struggling with your own group, go into groups where it's happening in the way that you want it to happen for your group, and watch and learn, and then take some of those principles and take it back to your group and give it a go. Not everything's going to work, but I saw something the other day that I just loved in someone else's group, and I thought I'd love to do that in mine. So I'm going to bring that in and see how that works, because I absolutely love the idea and I think it will go down well. So if you are wanting to work on your group more, just a little tidbit here that I've got coming up for you. I haven't set a start date yet, but it will be this month. So if you are at all interested, you need to jump in on it. We've got some people jumping in already on it, and that is the Facebook group Magicians Mastermind. 60 days to work on your Facebook group in kind of like a mastermind environment with myself and other Facebook groupers. So you'll get my brilliance and my knowledge, and trust me, I do a bit of training in this area, and I'm constantly looking for new ideas. We will work our way through with one call a week. Yeah, one call a week, a mastermind call, and we will cover a subject of your group, and we'll start at the very beginning with just building the group, deciding naming, purpose, and then going all the way to monetizing it as well in that 60 days, so that you can start to see some progress with your group. Now, not only will you get my insights, you're also going to get, obviously, the other people in the mastermind as well. So we'll all join each other's group, watch what's going on, give insights, give suggestions. It's going to be a great place to really help each other out. And plus, you'll also get some training from me as well. Okay, so it's a mixture of masterminding and training. We're going to do a combination of it both. So that is going to be starting soon when I get the amount of people in it that I want to have it start. Well, it will start in June. So it is midway through the year. And if you want to get your group up and running sooner rather than later, so you can finish off this year with starting to make some income from your group in the way that you always imagined you would be doing, this is a good one to jump onto. It is $1,000 Australian, so US people, that's a lot less for you with the money conversion, but in Aussie dollars it's $1,000 for the 60 days. So that's about 8 training calls that we'll be on and masterminding calls there. So there's plenty to do in that time. It is the 60 days on those calls with us for $1,000. You can have a payment plan if you want an installment of the 2 payments of $500. If you decide to just pay up front, you get a special little gift, and that is $100 off. So it will be $900 if you just go for the 1 payment. So if you are interested in that, you just need to comment below in this that you're interested in it, and I will send you some info. I have no fancy sales page. Like, I'm a fancy sales page girl. I love doing up fancy sales pages, but for this one, because we just want to get it acting and we just want to get it happening, I didn't bother to do it. I think if you want to come into a Facebook mastermind group with me and with the other participants and work on exclusively, I'm not going to talk anything else in that mastermind, but getting your Facebook group up and happening, engaged, and making you some money in the way that you probably most likely aimed to when you first started your group. You can either have a group already, or you can be thinking of it and use this as a way to start your group so that you get it all right from the very beginning. Trust me, there's a lot of things I did not get right. I've spoken to a lot of big group owners as well, and they've imparted information to me on things that they did not get right, and I will give you that. So it's just not coming from me, it's coming from my conversations with my many friends. That makes me sound good, my many friends, who are all big Facebook group owners as well to some degree. So I will be getting their information, and I've got a whole heap of it just from our conversations, and you will get the whole lot. The successes, what worked, what didn't, what definitely not to do that will have you absolutely defriended by every one of your friends on Facebook if you do it to try and grow your group. We will show you a better way of doing it. So that's it. If you want in on that, you make sure that you comment below, or you can send me a private message and I will whip you some information on that. I'm just sending out stuff to other people today who have applied for that. Oh, hi, Becky. Yeah. Well, it's the time difference, Becky. Me here in Australia, it's actually the middle of the day. On a very cold day here in Orange, and I know in the US it is nighttime, and obviously Europe it's in the morning. So time difference, when you have something international like this going on, it's always a bit of an issue trying to get the right time to get everyone on board. I was told by Michael Griffith, who was on High Profile Q&A with me last week, he told me that he does all his calls at 8 a.m. in the morning here in Australia on Sydney time, because then he reaches the US and the UK all at suitable times. But there's no way I'm getting up at 8 a.m. or doing a live at 8 a.m. So it doesn't work for me. So I just wing it. If you catch me, you catch me. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to go and do some work. I hope this has helped you. Make sure that you are selective with who you are letting into your group, and not worry so much about, oh, I need massive growth, so I want the numbers. Concentrate more on the quality of who it is that you want in there. Okay, thank you so much. Risha, what have we got here? Great point about business versus personal account on Facebook, especially since it's relatively easy to keep them separate. Yeah, I did notice you didn't have the profile pitch, but as I said, Risha, we look at other stuff as well. Okay, as I said, it is the first thing we'll look at is the profile picture. If it looks like a human, it looks like a person, that's a good sign. If it's not, then we're going to have to go and double check again as well in terms of other information. And thank you so much, Kevin, for your support. You are amazing. You're wonderful. And I'm going to give you your shout out later on today. All right. Good night, everyone. Let me know, or goodbye, everyone. Let me know if you want in the Facebook group Magicians Mastermind, and get in on it with us. I am there to help you get your group engaged, growing, get you leads off Facebook into your own lead pool, meaning in your own lead storage, and off Facebook. You know, if they change your groups tomorrow, you could lose just like that. So we have to get a lot of those leads off Facebook as well. And I'll show you some of the ways I do that. And of course, we need to make some money from it for you as well. All right, PM me. Thank you. Goodbye. Thanks, everyone.